everybody, it's Noelia with My Moxie Dreams. I hope that you are all doing well. Today I'm doing a bonus video, so I apologize in advance if the lighting is causing a glare. It's driving me insane, but there's nothing I can do about it. Normally I shoot my videos first thing in the morning with the beautiful bright morning light, but today I decided to do this video kind of out of the blue because last night I laminated my Franklin Covey planner dividers. Now, as many of you know, I have been a Franklin Covey girl forever, and I am a Franklin Covey affiliate, and I love all things Franklin Covey. However, I use my planner every single day. This baby, she is well loved and used multiple times a day, as is my classic. This is my compact that I've been in for multiple years. I was in a classic for 20 years and then moved into the compact. And as I've shared with many of you on my Instagram, YouTube, and social media outlets, I am like trying to figure out if I'm gonna be a classic girl or compact girl. Right now, it looks like I'm gonna be compact for life and literally compact for life, and do my work to-dos on my weekly classic 5 choices. That's what it looks like at the moment, but that's neither here nor there. My point being is that I use my planner all the time, every day. She goes with me everywhere, so I'm constantly fiddling to and from all my tabs and going back and forth and whatnot. And in doing so, that causes a lot of stress on the Franklin Covey tabs. So let me just show you a set here of Franklin Covey tabs that I have. Let me move my planner out of the way. Now, I typically do this. I take one of the tabs and cut the tab off so that it becomes the dashboard. And then I pick the ones that I love the most, and those become my 4 top tab priorities. And I have the same 4 tabs in all of my planners. I have a to-do, goals, bills, and family. Those are the 4 things that everything falls within the sections. So as you can see here, these, I think I got these last year, and I don't know if I'm gonna try to show you. You can see the crease because I go to that section all the time. And so what happens with stuff like this, with these dividers, is after a certain amount of time, you keep going and it bends. Franklin Covey has tried their best to kind of reinforce. I think the new ones had some reinforcements on the tabs, but it's still, if you're like me, that you're in your planner all the time, it still takes a toll on your tabs and they won't last you very long. And I'm the type of girl that I want to keep things for a really long time. That is just how I am. I'm a believer about keeping things that bring value to your life, make you happy. These planner dividers make me happy. And I love the designs on them, both back and front. I don't want these to end up being tossed because the tabs are so flimsy. So here's what I've done. Here's what I did last night. I took my Gingham Gardens and I laminated them. This is nothing new for me. I have done this for years. When I had my classic, I would laminate my classic. So here are a few of the ones that I have done in the past. So all these are laminated. Let me take, some of these are cut and some of these aren't. So these are some that I created myself with scrap paper and laminated. These are not Franklin Covey. These are not Franklin Covey, but they are just a sample of, all these are just ones I made, right? And so now I have sets that I can just interchange throughout the seasons. I have, you know, a Christmas one that I can change out and put in when I want. This is my Christmas theme. Where is she? Here she is. This is my Christmas theme that I put in, and they're laminated, so it allows me to be able to preserve them and use them when I want. So I did that last night. Again, I have binders and binders full of my same 4 tabs in different themes. So I just kind of want to show you quickly, you know, if you're interested in laminating them, I strongly suggest doing so that they can remain in your collection and you can kind of interchange them as you see fit. So first thing you're gonna need is, you'll see here, I have a laminator machine ready to go. It's been heating, so if you've been hearing that humming sound in the background, that's what that is. And then I just get very inexpensive laminating pouches. Typically, I like to do letter size because you can do 2 of the compact sizes per sheet. So let's just dig in. Sorry for the noise. I'm just gonna try to slip a sheet out. I'm gonna do probably just the one on camera, the one set, and then I will do my second set because there's 4 plus the dashboard. So I think I'll do the 2 with you guys, and then I'll do the rest off camera. So I'm gonna do the first 2, to do and goals. So you want a clean, perfect sheet. You want to lift it all the way back so that you can put this tab as close to the corner as possible. Now what you want to do is you want to leave enough at the top for it to seal. Do you see that? You don't want to leave too much because you don't want to have to go back and cut it, but you certainly want to leave enough so that it's going to do a tight seal. And then what you're going to do is take the other one, I line it up almost perfectly. What I like to do as well, I have this really old freaking paper cutter, but sometimes what I like to do is just make sure that they're lined up straight. I will put this here and make sure that they're lining up straight with the lines that are there. So I'm gonna move this one over just so that I know that it's straight on to that particular line. And now they're both at the same level, both at the same height. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over here so you can see this as it goes in. So then you're gonna very carefully put this pouch in. You guys know how to laminate, it's nothing major, but because it's a compact and there's a gap here, I hold it until it's gone through, until the second sheet is in. And that way you don't have any issues with it falling out, and then you're at the last minute, it's gonna go in and it's going in incorrectly. So I hold it until I know that it's already being inserted into the laminating machine. Okay, so this is really easy. It's just taking time. Again, and if you don't care that it's lined up and you wanna cut extra cuts at the end of this, you can line it up however you want. I try to save myself a step by doing it lined up evenly so I can make just a few cuts instead of entire cuts around the divider. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So this part is easy. I got this on Amazon for probably 11 bucks. I have an Amazon storefront, so you can go and I'll link it down below so you can see which one that I use. Okay. So there is our laminating sheet. I'm gonna go ahead and move it. So there's our babies, right? Back and front. And they're lined up perfectly at the top. So thankfully I won't have an extra step there. If you wanna just do it quickly and separate them, you can separate them quickly so that you're dealing with one at a time. And then you're basically going to cut around as close to the edge without cutting into the seal. So you want to leave enough at the edge so that the seal remains tight, if that makes sense. So I don't have to cut anything here. I just made my one cut. I don't have to cut on this side because if you remember, I measured it so that it would be perfect. And we'll see, sometimes there's a little bit of an overhang and I decide to cut, but you don't want to cut so close to the laminating pouch that it breaks the seal, because once we do all the cuts, I put it through the laminating machine one more time to make sure that all of that gets heated up and sealed properly. So here's where kind of the perfectionist in me comes out. You'll see that there's a big, probably inch gap here. So what I do is I take my blades and put them right at the top. I line this up. Again, I leave enough gap. So let me make sure I'm in. I leave enough of a gap so that it does not break the seal of the laminate. I cut this piece first, so there's the first piece, to make sure that this top is lined up perfectly. Then what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna cut all the way to the edge of this tab. And you have to be very careful, because this is where if you go too crazy willy-nilly, you will cut into the tab. If you go slow, you'll feel the little snap of where to stop. So again, I put these up top. I'm gonna put this as close to the edge without cutting any seal, because you wanna leave a little lip of the laminate sheet so that it will adhere. And there's a little click that happens when you've reached the edge of the tab, and that's when you release it. Now you'll see that there's this little crazy flap here, okay? All I do at that point is I take my scissors and I cleanly cut that out, okay? So there is your perfect tab. Now, if you don't like these rough corners, I do not like rough corners, but that is perfect. It is ready to go. All I do is to take out that harsh edge is I just round the corners myself. And this is where, if you're a perfectionist and that's gonna bother you, then you need to think of a different way. There's tabs, tab cutters. I have the We Are Memory Keepers rounded tab cutter, but unfortunately, because of the thickness of my laminate, it tends to get stuck. It might be the blade, but I don't know. So then what I do is I like these also rounded, so I just basically just very carefully, again, this isn't gonna be perfect. If you think it is, you're being too hard on yourself. And there is my rounded tab. So there is a completed tab. All that's left to do is to put it in your hole punch. Now, there's already holes in there, so I tried really hard to line it up perfectly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And there is your sheet. And again, I cut this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it'll fit perfectly into my tab. There you go. So it's super easy. Let's do the second one just so that we can kind of do it again quickly. Let me move all my junk out of the way. So again, this one, we shouldn't have to, but it looks like I don't know, it looks thicker there than it did on the other side, but I just try to do all the sides first. Again, you want to leave enough that there will be a seal. You don't want to cut too close to the edge. I know you're tempted to cut close to the edge, but you don't want to do that, because you will release the seal and it won't work, and you don't want that. So now this one's interesting because you have, again, you're going to go till the point, and then so let's just do this first. Sorry if I'm confusing you guys. So I always do the top piece, right? Up until the top tab. Now we're gonna do these until I move that one out of the way. And you'll feel when it stops. If you don't put pressure, you'll feel when it stops. And that is when you know you've hit the tab. So that's where you release. You go to the edge and then release. And then you just use your scissors. I've gotten so good at this now that it's like, it takes me probably 15 minutes to do all the tabs. I'm just taking longer today because I'm explaining it to you guys, but it's super easy to laminate your tabs. This feels a little too thick at the top, but again, I have to be, that's where my perfectionist self is telling me to chill out, but let me just make sure. Just want a little bit of that cut off, not too much. Okay, Then you're just gonna round the edges as you see fit, or not. You may like pointy edges. I do not. They don't have to be perfect. Although that one's a little janky, so I fix it. Okay, I don't care. I'm okay with these being pointy. I just don't like. And I just take the edges off. This is where I feel like this one, I don't like that lip. So I'm gonna cut a little bit more off the top. There we go. So that looks better. Okay. I almost forgot. After you've cut them all out and all the edges are perfect to your liking, make sure that you run it through the laminator machine one more time. And the only reason you're doing this is just to make sure that in your cutting and trimming around the divider, if there was any laminate pieces that unsealed, by putting it one more time through the laminating machine, it will hot seal it again. So that was the last tip I forgot to include. So then you just hole punch as close to the original holes as possible. You're gonna slice these to save your rings and not be opening and closing your rings so often. And there is my holes. So that is what it looks like, and they're so freaking sturdy, you guys. They are so sturdy, like I can't even tell you. And you can pull them in and out and all around. You know how I am about my dividers. A planner is meant to be used, and if you're so afraid to turn to a specific section because these bend, you're not going to use your planner because you're going to be so afraid that you're messing up the cute frilly little things that you add in here. I am a proponent of having cute frilly things. I mean, come on guys, look at my planner. It's like a little rainbow explosion, and you know how much I love all my cute little inserts. This is all fine and dandy, but if you're going to invest money in these dividers, you should laminate them if you want them to last through the years so that you can use them over and over and over again. You don't have to have this specific weight of laminating paper or pouches. I like 5 mil because I like for them to be thick. I have a set, I think I have a set, let me see. If you use really a lot of stuff inside your planner and you don't want them that thick, here's one that you can see is, I think, 3 mil, and it has more pliability to it. It's not as stiff as the 5 mil. Either one works to save your dividers and to make them more durable. You can choose the 3 mil, which is a little bit thinner, but it still has that resilience. It's just more pliable, more bendable. The 5 mil, you can tell it's 5 mil. Like, you can tell this is a divider, and when you pull it, it's not folding or bending. The 3 mil, you can see it bending. You can see, again, you have to like totally freaking manhandle your planner or your tabs, right? When you're doing that. I'm not doing that. These I don't have. These I don't have cut for some reason. Let me cut them so that you can see the difference. So the 5 mil, my dividers, I prefer 5 mil. 5 mil, you can see here that it is pretty durable. So is the 3 mil, but these can fold a little bit more. You can see how I'm folding that back. You can't really fold the 5 mil. It's like, sorry, that's the difference. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these, but that is how you laminate dividers for Franklin Covey. It's super easy. It just takes patience. If you're gonna rush through it, you're going to accidentally probably cut into a tab. So you just need to take your time. They're easy to laminate. And once they're laminated, the durability of these, they're never gonna get bent, and you can use them through the years like I have. I create my own tabs and I laminate the Franklin Covey tabs because I love the design so much that I want to be able to have them interchangeable throughout seasons and throughout years. So I hope that helped. I will leave description links below on what I used today, but it's very simple. You can use different types and weights of laminating paper depending on what you want. So this is what I highly recommend. If you give it a shot, leave me a comment below. I'd love to know how you did with laminating your inserts and dividers. Super, super worth it. They last forever, and it makes it just easy to go through, and you're not worrying about anything messing up. I hope that helped, everybody. I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this bonus video. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can see every time that I load a new video like this bonus one. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.